Apple has released a new 2020 27-inch iMac, and here are 5 things we love about it. I'm joined again by my good friend Pete. Pete, we're going to talk about the iMac. We've got a long history with the iMac.
We certainly do.
Fair to say that we quite like an iMac?
We do like an iMac. They're lovely things.
So the new 2020 27-inch iMac is out. Of course, yes. Everyone's getting excited about the Apple Silicon iMac, but that's not ready yet. So the 2020 27-inch iMac looks the same as previous years. In fact, the design hasn't really changed much in the last 6 years.
But does it really need to? I mean, we're probably due for a refresh, and I suspect that will come with the Apple Silicon machines. But it is a beautiful, iconic design. It looks so nice wherever you put it.
Okay, so let's go with 5 things that we love about this new iMac. And I'll start us off with the 5K display.
Yep.
Now, this isn't specifically a new 5K display to this particular iMac, but it's always worthy of mention because it's so good.
It is stunning, isn't it? It's just got such depth and richness, and it's so vibrant. It's a pleasure to work on one.
It is, and it's the cost of it as well. I mean, if you were to price up a computer with a separate 5K display of the quality of this, you'd be close to the actual entry-level price for the iMac.
Yeah.
A decent display like that doesn't come cheap, and that makes the iMac really good value, in my opinion.
It does. It almost seems too good value for such a, for an Apple product, to be fair. It's always a good thing to have in mind.
However, there are some slight tweaks to it this time round. So we now have the True Tone support. So this is the automatic adjustment of white balance in the screen. Now, of course, that's not a new thing. We have it on our iPad and our iPhone. Got any thoughts on True Tone?
I think it has its place. I do find personally myself that from time to time you can be sat and things just change without you expecting it. But this is a video about the things we like, and on the whole it's a great addition. Most of the time you don't notice it doing its thing.
Yeah, it is good. And of course now we've got the option of the nano texture glass. Now just to be clear, this it's not a coating.
No.
I thought originally it was a coating, but it's not. It's actually like a laser etching on the glass to stop it from reflecting light. But I have to say, we've got this one set up here in the studio with lights all around, and it's not massively reflecting everything that's going on around. I've never really found it to be a massive problem with the iMac. I don't know about you.
No, I haven't, and that's quite surprising considering what a big piece of glass it is. But I've never found it to be a distraction, probably because the screen, as we've just said, is so vibrant. So
it is, the nano texture glass is a £500 option, and just throughout this we'll quote prices in pounds, but we'll pop up on the equivalent dollar amount from Apple US on the screen. £500, that's quite a lot. It's a lot of extra money to pay for some non-reflective glass.
Have we heard reports that it could be a bit fragile, maybe?
It's not recommended that you're overly vigorous when cleaning it. I wouldn't have said it's fragile, but that process does take away some of the structure of the glass.
Yeah.
But this is something we love about the Mac, and I think that having the choice, regardless of whether we think it's expensive or not, having the choice for somebody who desperately needs this, they might be in an office where they've got no choice but great big windows with sunlight coming through.
Yeah.
This might make a big difference to them, and it might be worth the price of entry.
So, of course, the second thing that we love about this iMac is, as with its predecessors, upgradable RAM. This new machine allows you to upgrade to 128 gigabytes. It's got 4 slots available for DDR4 266 RAM. So that's a great thing to have. And if you're buying an iMac, chances are you want that extra memory in there. So the fact that you've got that rather than it being completely non-upgradable is a great option to have.
It is, considering the prices Apple charge for their memory, which we're not going to get into in this video, but certainly you can save yourself a lot of money by being able to upgrade it yourself. It's not soldered onto the motherboard or anything like that. Most people would never use 128 gigs.
No.
But it's nice that you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you an option, and we've talked about resale values before. The more memory you've got in it, the more attractive it may be when you eventually come to dispose of it to another buyer.
Absolutely. The third thing that we love is the 10th gen Intel CPUs, and
Yeah.
it's nice to know that you're getting the latest and greatest that Intel is offering, and you can now spec this thing up with the 10-core i9.
That's right.
And previously it was the 8-core i9, the 8th generation chip, and that was no slouch.
No.
The 9900K was a beast of a CPU, but now you can have a 10-core, so that's two more.
Two more cores for
that's always nice.
for your money. So yeah, it makes a sensible upgrade. And it at that top level, it makes this into an absolute beast of a machine.
In addition to the CPU, the fourth thing that we love about this iMac?
Well, it's got to be the Radeon Pro 5000 graphics. And I think you can spec it up to a 5700 XT. Now, what was interesting I found about that is that you can buy a 5700 XT, but you can only get it with 8 gigabytes of onboard RAM. But the Apple one, we know they always get a bit of a customized graphics card in there. That comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's a beast of a graphics card.
It's amazing, and without any doubt, if you spec'd up this iMac with that 10-core i9, a 5700 XT, it's going to outperform the iMac Pro.
Yeah, and that's astounding, isn't it, really?
In fairness, the previous generation, the 8-core i9 with the Vega 48, would give the iMac Pro a run for its money and outperform it in some areas, but this, there's no contest anymore. So for those who are in the market just for a high-performing computer and they don't need the error-checking RAM and the Xeon processor that comes with the iMac Pro, they now have a cheaper entry point. And these things are going to just roast through video, editing, anything you can throw at it, it's going to be really good.
And we did say in the previous video, didn't we, that the iMac Pro feels a little bit like the white elephant in Apple's lineup now. And this kind of reinforces that for me, that unless, like you say, you want a Xeon processor and the error-checking RAM, why would you not just go for this? It makes so much more sense.
Yeah, it does. There are a couple of other things about the iMac Pro which are worth having, but whether it's worth that additional price is another question. So the fifth thing that we love about this iMac is that it now has the T2 chip in it.
It does indeed. Very exciting.
So Apple's T2 chip, which is used as an SSD controller. Of course, all of the hard drive options for this now are SSD.
Yeah,
so
no hard drive anymore.
It does security and encryption work. It does video encoding and decoding work. So the T2 takes a little bit of workload away from the CPU and GPU, and the way Apple has it optimized, it's a good thing to have in the system.
Yeah.
So that's nice to see. So 5 things that we love about this iMac: 5K display, upgradable RAM, 10th gen CPUs, Radeon Pro 5000 series, and a T2 chip. But actually, we came up with quite a list, didn't we? It was hard narrowing it down to 5. So
really tough, really tough.
Honourable mentions. Pete, start us off with honourable mentions.
The SD card slot now supports UHS 2.
Great.
Which is, most people we think who are going to be buying this, or a lot of people that are going to be buying it, are going to be using it for content creation. So being able to ingest that content that much quicker is going to speed up your workflow and make you more efficient. So that's a great addition to have.
Yeah, provided you've got UHS 2 SD cards, of course.
Absolutely.
Also, the Ethernet port, you can upgrade that. It's a £100 option, but you can have 10 gigabit Ethernet on this, like you can with the Mac Mini and the Mac Pro, and the iMac Pro indeed. For video editors, I think that's huge because a lot of them are working on NAS drives, so they need fast Ethernet access. So that's a great addition.
Yeah, agreed, absolutely. And then we've got Bluetooth 5 on this, so faster, extended range. That may be useful to many out there, particularly if they're transferring files via that method from devices.
Yeah, excellent. That's a nice upgrade. Of course, huge upgrade is the webcam.
Now we're time.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's now up to 1080p, and the sensor is a back illuminated sensor, not front illuminated, which is a better way of doing things. Won't get into the nitty gritty here. And again, it utilizes the T2 chip to improve the quality of the video as well, computational video. Yeah. Quality of web calling is just going to be so much better. Yeah,
and really with so many more people working from home, we have noticed with some of the people in our agency who've using the iMac that the image quality of the webcams not being that great compared to those running on, say, MacBook Pros or an iPad. So this is a great upgrade.
The other thing that we've got in addition to the webcam is the 3-mic array.
Yes.
So 2 on the front, 1 on the back to do noise cancellation. They call it studio quality. I don't think it's quite studio quality, but certainly for a conference call, it's pretty exceptional.
Yeah, and the noise cancelling again, a lot more of us are working from home now. That's going to be clearly the trend moving forward. So a really wise addition there from Apple. And along with that, of course, as well as the input, the output. Now, there's no change to the speaker system in this iMac. It's the same as before, but we still felt it was worth an honourable mention, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, they're so great. I mean, you look at the size of the computer and the kind of quality of sound that you get out of it. The iMacs, especially the 27-inch version, has always been great for audio. You want a computer with a small footprint on your desk, the iMac is the way to go. It's got all the power. It looks fantastic. I know a lot of people complain about the bezels. I don't personally mind them. It's not an issue for me. As soon as you look into that screen, you just get lost in the richness of it anyway.
Captivating.
Yeah, that's a better word than lost. Yeah, captivated. We're captivated by the iMac screen, and we really like it. So there's 5 things that we love about it. If you're looking to buy one of these iMacs, don't pay the Apple tax for the RAM. We'll put some links in the description where you can pick up that RAM on Amazon. You can save yourself a bunch of money and help support the channel, which is a win-win. And hopefully you enjoyed the content. Simultaneously to this video going up, we've also got 5 things we hate about the iMac. So if you're in that kind of mood, go and check that video out. Subscribe for more content. Hopefully we did enough to earn a thumbs up or a thumbs down if that's your thing. But see you next time for some more geekery.